Let's talk to Kay, I suppose. A-okay. Girl, how'd be? What's up? Let's talk about your face. What do you think? Just like a real hero, right? Yes, a new truth has come to light thanks to you and your sassy ninja ways. I'm trying to live up to the reputation as the second generation Yatagarasu. Still, I had hoped to show you more of what I'd learned from my training in the literal 2 weeks that I've been away, I guess. In regards to your training, please tell me you didn't. Don't worry, I didn't steal anything. Yet. I'm still taking a break from being a great thief, which is obviously rather easy, seeing as how I've technically never actually been a great thief yet. That's nice to hear. I want to hurry up and fight for the truth, just like my father. But I'm still in training, and I haven't found any members to join me yet. Yatagarasu, huh? She said she wanted to recruit some girls to join her as some sort of elite thief-based Charlie's Angels team. There just aren't that many girls out there who want to become a great thief. Well, I would hope not. I definitely like to think she asked Emma. This photo of the president and the president from the newspaper. No matter how you look at it, the red mole is a contradiction. I think I need to use logic. It's hard to believe that the red mole just appeared out of thin air. I got it. Let me steal a line that you said earlier. The way to the truth always begins with small thefts. That's not what I said at all. Stealing is an art. I rearranged it to fit my style. Your version seems to have lost the true essence of my words. You are, by all definitions, a goober. That said, let's logic up this noise. Laser pointer, that's why I thought I had laser pointer evidence. Anyway, seems pretty blatantly obvious to me. Yatta! I've solved the mystery of the red mole. You mean it's not a bug bite, sir? It's nothing like a bug bite or an itchy rash, although a bullet wound could possibly develop a rash around it. This is the light from a laser pointer. You mean a gun was aimed at the president's forehead? I mean, duh. He got shot, didn't he? And right after that second gunshot was heard. That's certainly more than just an itch, sir. Indeed, I'm concerned for the president's well-being. It's become more and more likely that this gun was the weapon used in the attack. Assassin's revolver data updated! Yay! Why'd the criminal use a laser pointer, sir? That's right. They would have had a beam of light shining from their hands. That'd be stupid. Pew, pew, pew! Way too conspicuous. If you follow the path of the laser, you'll find out who fired the shot. That's not good at all. Oh yeah! I also took some other photos. Maybe the light from the laser pointer was captured on those. It's a long shot, but there may be a chance. Okay, could you show us those photos? Coming right up. Firstly, the photo from before the incident. Aw, she's so cute. Your face is taking up most of the frame. I wanted to get a two-shot of me and the president. This was taken a little before the gunshots. And here's the one I showed you before. This was right after the first gunshot. Oh, so then the first gunshot would have been the one. So what, did the assassin shoot the flag and balloon to, like, disorient people? Wouldn't it have made more sense to have the first shot when nobody's guard was up? Like, I'm confused why shoot the balloon. And immediately after that, a second gunshot rang out. And then... what is this? I can't really see much in this photo. And after that last photo, one of the running guests knocked me down. But don't worry, I got up again. You ain't ever gonna keep me down. I've got references for days. Looks like the shutter clicked just then. This doesn't look too helpful, pal. I'm sure that it somehow is. Well, those were all the photos I took. Those are some pretty stylish photos you got yourself, girl. Not gonna lie to you. Not gonna lie to you. I'd like to examine these in a bit more detail. All right, investigate which photo. Let's go with the one before the incident, sure. Where comes the light of the laser pointer piece? Oh, I didn't even notice that before, but now I totally do. A lot of dialogue and stuff was covering it. Ah, Winston, no! Also, whoa, wait, hold up. Okay, so hang on. If Assassin Jones was standing there, then theoretically shouldn't have, I mean, where's Nicole in relation? I don't see your hair nowhere. That's interesting. Well, either way, I found the dang laser pointer. I found it! But, look just in front of this person in the red hood. Dear God, the assassin! It's Jason Todd! Ah, there! Yes, that's probably the light from the laser pointer. I'm gonna go ahead and say it's a pretty good guess. Then that red hooded person would be the assassin. We did it! It's all thanks to me, right? Right. As expected, the great thief has stolen the truth. Perhaps the criminal can also be seen in the other photos. Let me examine these photos one more time. Okay, well, definitely not in the moment of the incident. After the incident? Yo, there's a dude. I see you over there, Mr. Red Hood. I see you over there. Ah, there. The red-hooded assassin. Looks like they're escaping in the panic, sir. Brah! I'm getting these voices mixed up. We can see the direction they ran in. Ah, the samurai dog banner. Ah, damn it, we're going back to the hot dogs. The assassin escaped towards the right side of the audience area. Detective Gumshoe! Got it, sir. We'll investigate the right side of the audience area. I'm counting on you, as opposed to all those other times when I don't. Man do be running, though. Wow. That assassin looks like he's about to drop a next big hit rap album. The red-hooded assassin. Since the park was sealed off, there's nowhere they could have run to. If we follow their trail, we'll definitely catch them. Now then, let's continue with the investigatione. We'll definitely find some traces of the assassin. With friendship and other things. Probably. Anyway, yo, Gum Gum McGumson, what up? At the crime scene, there will be some spots that need further investigation, sir. You gotta examine that mess! Yes, I freaking know! Sometimes simply examining them may not move the investigation along. Yes, sir? If there's a difference between the crime scene and what's in your organizer, oh, you better be pointing that mess out. Present evidence to point out the contradiction, sir. Press the X button to present evidence. That's how I begin my deductive reasoning. Yep, we've done that in the past. In doing so, the truth will naturally reveal itself. That's the aligning theory, at least. The Red Hood will really stand out, sir. It's almost like he's asking to be arrested. No, that's not enough. I need to search for additional identifying factors. In other words, there'd be a huge backlash. You can't arrest someone just for wearing a red hood. Detective, you've been watching too much. Kids Masterpiece Theater, sir. I like to quiz at the end of the show. Now then, getting back to the trail of the assassin. Don't ignore me, sir. I like children's television! It's not a crime! It's surprisingly high quality these days, sir! Quite frankly, I find it to be much more involved and in-depth and well-written than most adult animated programs today. Why is that the case, sir? What's that? Literally nothing, apparently, Kay, but still nice to see you. Anyway, you! Alright, no, you're also a big fat pile of nothing new to say! Alright, well, can I look at this hat? I can't look at the hat. Fine, I'll examine the booth. Hey, yo, that a hoodie? I won't rest until I've inspected every suspicious-looking nook and cranny! Also, hang on, let me examine this first because it's easier to miss. This is a red button, sir. Could this be from the jacket? Probably. This could be related to the person in the red hood. How did it get underneath the booth? There's something red down there. Detective Gumshoe, please check underneath the food stall. Something's stuck down there. Let's see. He got almighty! It's a red raincoat! Oh, it's a red raincoat! Could this be? I thought it was Gumshoe. The assassins! It appears that he got rid of his raincoat before he ran away. How dare he do such a nefarious thing? I was about to say deplorable and diabolical at the same time, and it just came up as gobbledygook. Alright. Let me see here. The left sleeve. Doesn't appear to be anything out of place. It's not turned inside out. It's not turned outside, and the button is still tightly in place. Even though it was thrown away, it looks a bit too clean. Okay, but what about this? This sleeve It's inside out. It's also missing a button. Okay, assuming that the button is a logic thingy, I can do something with that, yeah? Red button. Yum. Let's go. Alright, yeah, now how's this for some logic? Looks like the fallen button came from the raincoat. End of discussion. Not really much else to say. It probably fell off when the assassin took off the raincoat. If you look closely, you can see that the right sleeve is inside out, sir. It appears they took it off in a hurry, almost as if it was a big panic or something. Go figure. The button was probably torn off. After shooting the president, the assassin disposed of the gun and the bag in the garbage bin. As you do. Then, during the panic, they moved from the left to the right side of the audience or area. The bullet's trajectory led us to suspect someone who was on the left side of the audience area, making it a good place to hide. Makes sense. The assassin then took off the raincoat and hid it under the sedan. With nobody seeing, I guess the panic must have been really intense. The assassin was in a hurry to remove the raincoat. That's why there are signs that the right sleeve was hastily removed. It also explains why the button was torn off. If that's the case, why is the left sleeve not in the same state? Ah, that sleeve isn't inside out. On the contrary, the button is still tightly fixed. What do you mean, sir? To find the answer, we must examine the raincoat in detail. Okay, if we simply must. Well, examine, I guess? I'd like to investigate the inside of this raincoat. Detective Gumshoe? Got it. Blood! I found blood! This is a blood stain. Judging by the location, this is most likely the assassin's own blood. So we're looking for someone who's injured, sir. Not just any injury, Detective. An injury on their left arm. What do you mean, sir? Let me break it down for you. The criminal was in a hurry to take off their coat. That's why the right sleeve is inside out. On the other hand, the left sleeve remains unchanged. How did this difference arise? Quite simply, the assassin couldn't get his arm through the left sleeve. If you think of it like that, it all starts to add up. Furthermore, a bloodstain was found on the left side of the raincoat. I see. He couldn't get his injured arm to fit through the sleeve. Yes, indeed. I'd say the possibility is quite high. That's some good-to-know information. All right, we'll go find somebody with an injured arm. That should be pretty easy. It's all coming together. My investigation is complete like nobody's business. Detective Gumshoe, I want you to pull our assassin out of the crowd. Roger that, sir. Someone with an injured left arm, right? You must have a good head on your shoulders if you did see through me, Mr. Prosecutor. Finding the assassin with only that much evidence shouldn't be a problem at all. That's our Edgeworth. Yes, yes, continue to lavish me with all of the praise. I can't be stopped. Can't stop, won't stop. Thank you and good day. Regardless. I'm counting on you, Detective Gumshoe, unlike last time. And the other last time. And like the 15 other times. What you got for me, Gum? Mr. Edgeworth, we found a suspicious person in that condition, sir. That's gotta be the assassin. Okay, we haven't proven that this person is the assassin yet. It could just be a second person in the crowd with an injured arm. Such things are possible. For now, this is just a person of interest. Don't jump to conclusions. Got it. I'll control myself. There's no doubt that this is the guy who targeted the president, sir. It takes a daring person to target someone's life in front of an audience. Detective, bring him here. Courteously. Yes, sir. Hey, you guys, bring him here. You got ice cream? I admit I'm not completely on the up and up when it comes to the timeline, but, yeah. Okay, literally nobody in the last time we saw this guy, nobody else saw this guy. So I guess it would make sense that nobody would know it's this guy. But that's freaking Shelly to Killer. That trained and professional assassin Shelly to Killer. Matt Ungard. Yeah, Matt Ungard hired this dude. What the hell? He's not carrying an umbrella. His left arm is bandaged. You there, state your name. My name is John Doe. You ain't pulling the wool over my eyes, you big dumb nerd. That's the name for a missing person. John Doe. That's an unusual name. Unless you're trying to claim that you're the Team Fortress 2 soldier, which you're not. Oh, wait, no, his name was Jane Doe. That is correct. This man. Have I seen him somewhere before? Oh, actually, shouldn't you be able to identify him by the logo? Why does he have his assassin's logo on his coat? That's a terrible thing to do. Prosecutor Edgeworth. You know my name? Yes, I have been observing your investigation. May I ask why you have called me here? Well, because you're a murderer, mostly. We're searching for the assassin who attempted to murder the president. Do you recognize this red raincoat? Yeah, sure, I wear it all the time. I'm terribly sorry, but I'm afraid I do not. I believe that this raincoat belongs to the assassin. Yes. Also, that ice cream seems to be having an issue. Oh my, that is terrible indeed. This person should also have a severe injury on the left side of their body. Precisely like yours is where I'm going with this. I have no relation to this. A stare down! Mano a mano, it's like they're firing laser beams out of their eyes! But they are not sharks. So, what happens next? Obviously a confrontation, pal. A battle of wits between two gentlemen. Should I hear his explanation? Just to be safe. In case they change something up from before, you never know. A witness might lie and misunderstand. If you find a contradiction in their statement, you present evidence, pal. Yep. I know that much. And if you don't find a contradiction, what do you do then? Well, at those times, you press the witness for more details. To press the left button. All right, sir. Could you give us a demonstration, please? Go, Mr. Prosecutor. You are America's best. Sure. All right. Japanifornia. She just won't quit. She doesn't know how to quit. You. I don't know why I said that. I understand that the person in the raincoat is suspicious. However, that doesn't mean that he was injured. I don't suppose you have proof? Other than the blood inside the... Yeah, okay, this is... Yeah, I guess it is the tutorial case, ain't it? Clearly, my left arm is injured, but I can still use my right arm. When it was raining, I used an umbrella. I have no need for a raincoat. You didn't wear a raincoat. That's your claim? Yeah, sure, why not? Not everyone uses a raincoat for protection against the rain. Only chumps do that. I am an umbrella person, after all. I'm definitely a raincoat person. Umbrellas will hinder your movement. Well, I don't use raincoats or umbrellas. I just let it rain on my head. Come rain or snow, all I need is my trusty parka. This wasn't what I wanted to talk about. I hope you understand. I'm not the assassin. Unfortunately, that's a load of hooey. Leaving a testimony unexamined goes against my principles. How troublesome. I am but a simple ice cream salesman. Oops. Please excuse me. In the panic earlier, my wound seems to have reopened. Oh, well, isn't that incredibly convenient? There's no mistaking that the owner of this raincoat is the assassin. Furthermore, the owner has an injured left arm. I mean, come on! Mr. Doe, I shall reveal your true colors for all to see. I mean, something's gotta be up. You don't put Shelly the Killer in the damn tutorial. Alright, well, yes, I do in fact have myself some evidenciations. So let me just toss this right in your ding-dang face. Objection! Yatta! Finger waggle! Mr. Doe, you seem to be a very cautious person. However, today seems to be different. Because you left this behind. You must be mistaken. It does not belong to me. Or perhaps you have evidence that proves otherwise? Yeah, sure, why not? Mr. Doe, is your injury all right? You did literally mere moments ago say that it reopened. The wound seems to have opened. Ew. Indeed. It is quite troublesome. How are you casually wiping red blood off of a white bandage? That is not how that works. Any other color in history, and I would say, okay, maybe. But white? Nah, that ain't ever coming out. Yes, I'm sure it is. You have my deepest sympathies. After all, you would have escaped had your wounds not opened up. Well, what do you mean? There is no mistaking that the one who wore this raincoat was injured. And I can prove that that person was you. With this! The ice cream appears to be sweating. That's right. Still not, I'm waiting for the classic move before I say the thing. On the inside of this raincoat, there's a small blood stain. It's the blood of the assassin. And we can very easily check to see if it's yours. Whoop! All right, well, there goes the ice cream. Oh, never mind, it's back. Still sweaty, though. Attacking the president is a serious crime, pal. And you think attacking a normal person is gonna get you put in prison? Oh, you don't know nothing. You'll cause an international incident. No matter how long you keep silent, your true nature will soon come to light. A blood test will settle this. The blood from the raincoat and the blood from your bandaged arm. I have all the evidence I need. Why don't you just admit it, you big nerd? You're the assassin who attacked the president. I am not the assassin. You don't know when to give up. If this was a game of chess, you would have been checkmated a long time ago. I'm talking like 7.5 damn days ago, my dude. My goodness. Admit your defeat gracefully. No. He seems completely unfazed. I suppose I have no choice. I'll admit it. Indeed, the raincoat is mine. He confessed, sir! Tackle him! However, that does not mean I shot the president. What's that, pal? Prosecutor Edgeworth, all you have proven is that I wore the raincoat. What sort of crime is that? Oh, so you want a round two, do you? You want another do-si-do? Very well. I am no assassin. I'm just a simple ice cream salesman. All I did was put on that red raincoat and listen to the president's speech. It surprised me to see the bodyguards take action just before the gunshot rang out. Everyone in the audience immediately tried to escape, creating a state of panic. Then why did you lie about wearing a raincoat? And why did you hide the raincoat? Are you satisfied this time? His story's getting fishier by the minute. He's really suspicious. Glaring at me won't help. We've got evidence. Here, look at this guy in the red raincoat. That's gotta be the assassin. I see. That is certainly not me. Prove it! Ah! Prosecutor Edgeworth, please consider this carefully. Was I really the only one who wore a red raincoat? Whether he was or not, the person in the photo can only be Mr. Doe. But why? This man's self-confidence and intensity. I mean, do I have to point out the fact that... I mean, if I look at the photograph... Let's see. Seems pretty clear to me that it's being held in the right hand, but I don't know, being right-handed is far from, you know, unusual. So I don't know if I'd be able to use that for anything. Let's see. I am no assassin, I'm an ice cream man! All I did was put on that raincoat and listen to the president's speech. Let's start pressing stuff! Why did you use a raincoat instead of an umbrella? Is it strange to wear a raincoat on a rainy day? Only because you literally went out of your way to tell me that you don't do that. It's strange to purposely wear a raincoat when you can't get your arm into it. If both my hands were occupied, I wouldn't be able to serve ice cream. Why didn't you mention that in your testimony earlier? Because I hate you. I'm terribly sorry, it must have slipped my mind. Convenient. After all, I had just gone through all that. Who buys ice cream in the middle of the rainy season anyway? All that. The shooting of the president, of course. It surprised you to see the bodyguards take action just before the gunshot rang out. All right, let's keep pressing down, pressing down. So the bodyguards reacted before the gunshot went off? Yes. The bodyguards moved first. The one on the left side of the stage, in particular. You saw it all quite clearly. I have good eyesight. I mean, you have a freaking monocle, so... The names are written on the upper left of the security plan. The bodyguard on the left side would be... Mr. Rook. That is correct. Mr. Ethan Rook, I believe. Scanning for information. How do you know his name? I didn't know that part. Perhaps he noticed the light from the laser pointer? That man is no ordinary individual. From their actions, I don't believe that the bodyguards were amateurs. This man isn't an ordinary individual either. Please add that statement to your testimony. As you wish. All right. The man on the left side of the stage was exceptionally quick. Mr. Ethan Rook, as I recall. Yeah, so I'm just gonna throw this in your face. How the heck do you know this, dude? Oh, smuck. I knew it was coming one day. Seems you aren't just a simple ice cream salesman after all. You think too highly of me, Prosecutor Edgeworth. Nay, I don't think of you at all! Why would a simple ice cream salesman know the name of the president's bodyguard? The name of the bodyguard? Surely you jest. I don't jest, and don't call me Shirley! Didn't you say their names just a moment ago? Mr. Knightley and Mr. Rook, correct? Yeah, I did. When did I say Ethan? I didn't know his name. This is a diagram of the security plans. We learned their names from this. However, please look. Only the surnames are written here. You distinctly said Ethan Rook. How did you know his full name when we did not? I don't know, but my ice cream is sweating. That's pretty weird, sir. Why do you know his name? Explain yourself, you big dumb nerd. That was merely a slip of the tongue. How do you slip information that you don't, you shouldn't know? It's true. This guy is the assassin. Tackle him to the ground. Lady, you're being a little hasty. The reason I knew his name is quite simple. What? I am an acquaintance of Mr. Rook's. What? He and I have a bit of a connection. His is a name that I will never forget. Mr. Edgeworth, he's just telling a big fat lie. Tackle him. This is not a lie. I am just a simple ice cream salesman who looks very strange and had a very large face scar and an acquaintance of Ethan Rook's. Objection! That's stupid as hell. In that case, let's just ask Rook himself about this. Whether or not he's acquainted with this dubious ice cream salesman. As you wish. However, that may prove difficult now. He's currently busy with the president's security, after all. Besides, even if I'm not an acquaintance of Mr. Rook's, does that prove that I fired the gun? Sure, why not? Let's say it does. If you aren't the assassin, then why did you remove your raincoat? It was a little hot, and the rain had stopped. I wanted to air out the wounds. Is there a problem with that? I just can't seem to corner him. I've had quite enough of your mess, son. Mr. Edgeworth, what are you doing? Hurry up and arrest him. That man's so suspicious. I'd even arrest him myself. Arrest him without evidence? How could I do such a thing? Come on, Mr. Edgeworth, can't you do something? Breaking news, the criminal is on the verge of escaping the prosecutor. There's a lot of murmuring. Oh dear, they're already treating me like a criminal just because I professionally murder people for a living. Weird. Since I've been suspected this far, it seems I will have to tell the truth. The truth? Yeah, you better. That's what I want to hear and see. What's he up to? I saw another person wearing a red hood. Wasn't that convenient? What? What? Surely that was the person who was in the photo. I just told you to not call me Shirley! I first noticed him right before the speech when it was still raining. It's interesting how you keep coming up with new information that you didn't decide to tell us about before. Like, it's weird, ain't it? He caught my eye because his raincoat was the same color as mine. In his hand, I saw a laser pointer with the light aimed directly at the president. I said and did nothing, of course. It can't be. There was another person wearing a red hood? I knew that if I wore the red raincoat, I'd be mistaken for the assassin. That is why I took off the raincoat. You saw an assassin wearing the same color hood as yours? Wouldn't that be a nice coincidence? That's what I expected you would say, which is why I did not testify as such. Prosecutors and the police are a suspicious lot. Not, superstitious, but still. Cowardly, hard to say. I knew that nobody would believe me, mostly due to the fact that, yes, I am a trained assassin. I will murder everyone for money. At the moment of the incident, the assassin was very close to the prosecutor. Prosecutor? I only arrived after the incident. No, not you, the other one. Not you, Prosecutor Edgeworth. That prosecutor over there. Ah! Me? Yes, you should be visible in that photo. Yeah, I could tell by your bad haircut. Here, right in front of the person in the red hood. That's me, all right. What's your point? What's this man driving at? I've been observing your investigation this entire time. As an ice cream man, I have very good intuition, as you might imagine. Just call me an idol. Prosecutor Edgeworth, and I have noticed something strange. In the neighborhood? It seems you still haven't noticed this contradiction yet. Contradiction? In this photo, the people who can be seen are the chief, Mr. Payne, and the assassin. I don't see anything strange. Please think back carefully about the circumstances during the president's speech. I believe you are holding the evidence that contradicts this photo. Do I have evidence that contradicts this photo? Do I? President Pastor's the clown, deflating them rumors. That shrill old man. Interesting. Raises his fist in the air. Is it this?
Take that.
It can't be. There's a contradiction between the photo and the tape. It seems you've noticed. Mr. Edgeworth, what's going on? There's a person missing from this photograph. Aha! I did notice that earlier. Woo! Okay. Who is it? Yes, it's rather strange. Someone who should be there, but is not. The person who should be in this photo is... Yeah, I noticed that right away. According to everything, she should be, like, right next to the dude. Huh? Miss Swift? Why would you say that? Mr. Payne's voice was recorded on Miss Swift's tape. He was whispering quietly with the chief prosecutor. Those are from the folks standing in front of me. I reckon it was two older men. Well, surely... And now I'm calling people Shirley. It can't be her. I don't want it to be her. That'd suck. It seems Miss Swift was near Mr. Payne when she recorded the speech. But she isn't anywhere in this photo. That is correct. Now, Mr. Prosecutor, who is the one you should be pursuing? Nicole Swift, would you mind giving us your testimony? Come on, it feels weird when you talk all formal like that. It's fine, I ain't got nothing to hide. Oh dear. Oh dear. Okay, sure. Sure, let's see what happens. It ain't like I stayed in one spot while I was recording. I was moving around the audience area, shuffling here and there. I reckon this picture must have been snapped at a different time to my tape recording. Okay, well yeah, no. So quit making that scary face. It ain't what you think. Oh, that's a bummer. Miss Swift's tape recorder recorded a conversation between my colleagues, Mr. Payne and the chief prosecutor. Why would Nicole be lying? That would mean... It'd mean Nicole Swift is the assassin, pal. You gotta be kidding me. I ain't done nothing like that. Aw, man, you're acting way too chill given the circumstances. That means you might actually be the one who did it. That would suck. Be that as it may, however, there is a contradiction in your testimony. Huh? Well, I don't reckon so, no, sir. It appears I must reveal this contradiction with evidence. Same evidence as before. It ain't like I stayed, nope. And I was moving around, nope. Because I just checked the thingy-me-dingy, and that guy done got himself shot while his arm was all up in the sky. So then, yeah, we can present this once again. Smug, although laced with sadness, because I don't want you to be evil. Miss Swift, a reporter shouldn't lie. I ain't lying. I'm an honest journalist. Perhaps, but there's no denying that the photo and the recording were taken at the same time. That's so! And what makes you say that? The truth lies in these photos. This photo could have only been taken at the same time as your recording. Which spot shows that this was taken at the same time as the recording? Right here, I've got to say, it's got to be that, clearly. Can you see the president with his fist raised in the air as if he just doesn't care? What about it? Miss Swift, might we hear your tape one more time? Nuh-uh, you ain't gonna hear a word, way you've been treating me. Would you rather we charge you with obstruction of justice and seize it from you? Well, not especially, no. Fine, you win. No match for you, Mr. Prosecutor. Indeed. The question is, during which part of his speech did the president raise his fist? Moments before getting shot! No matter what sort of heinous criminal organization there is, I will not allow them to exist. The president raises his fist in the air. The atmosphere is boiling to a fever pitch. Aha! Raises his fist straight from the horse's mouth, sir. Don't call her a horse face, that's not nice. This tape was recorded at the moment the president raised his fist overhead. That means Nicole not being in this photo is really strange. Oh, but she is in the photo. Right here! Oh, I know how to. The person in the red hood? It was you, Nicole Swift. Ah! You're the real assassin, aren't you, pal? That ain't so. I ain't never worn that red raincoat. This red raincoat in question belongs to... Yeah, no, it's yours. You said it earlier. What color is your coat when it's reversed? The person in this red hood is Miss Swift, and so the owner of this raincoat must be Miss Swift. It can only be you. Ah, but does that young lady have an injury, I wonder? Huh? What do you mean, pal? Have you forgotten about the blood stain in the raincoat? What? Oh. Okay, that's my bad. The right sleeve was the... Yeah. Sorry. Okay. I made a boo-boo. Okay. The coat in question belongs to him. The raincoat's owner is Mr. Doe. That much has been proven. Sorry, jumped the gun. You were wearing something else. A different red hood. You mean there were two red hoodies, sir? Mr. Doe's last testimony was true. But we didn't find any other red raincoats. What Mr. Doe saw was a red hood, not a raincoat. Miss Swift, what was it you told us earlier about your parka? Huh? Oh, you mean when I said I ain't worried about it getting all dirty? Well, it's reversible, so all I gotta do is turn it inside out and... Ah! As I thought. Mr. Edgeworth, the inside of her parka is... red. Indeed. And during the incident, she was using that side. What? Hey, pal, what's the big idea? You're wrong. I've been wearing it like this the whole day. Well then, will you allow me to examine your parka? What are you expecting to find? We know it was raining prior to the president's speech. I believe you said earlier. Well, I don't use raincoats or umbrellas. Come rain or snow, all I need is my trusty parka. If you really didn't turn your parka inside out, then the inside should be dry. Hey, hang on a minute. I ain't taking off this heavy backpack and putting it back on again. Sorry, but can't we do this another time? You think you can fool Mr. Edgeworth with that, pal? All right then, pal. If we're really wrong, prove it. Show us the inside of the parka. It wasn't me. I ain't no assassin. Miss Swift, if you want me to believe that, then you need to cooperate with us. Will you please tell us why you wore the red side of the parka? I'm sorry, Mr. Prosecutor. I had my reasons, honest. I'll tell you all everything. Just quit bullying me. Who's holding the phone? Whomsative? Whose voice was that? Hold on a sec. It's a little too early for the end game. Who be it? Neck Brace Jones! Also, Knightley? Hey, you in the fancy suit. Haven't you been jumping the gun ever since you opening move? This man was in Kay's photo. Oh, I guess I should introduce myself first. My name is Gun Twirl McJones. Whoa, that doesn't seem safe. Yeah, all right, Ocelot. Knock it down. Whoa, that's not needed. Horace Knightley, the president's bodyguard. Second in command of his personal security unit. I knocked my microphone over. Watch it, pal. That's not a toy. Oh, my bad. Just wants to come out and play. I can't seem to help it. Settle down, RoboCop. Why do you have a gun if you're not a police officer? She's a lady of Zengfa. Only the president's bodyguards are authorized to use it. Anyway, back to business. I got some news for you. There's good news and bad news. Which you want to hear first? Always the bad news first. Makes no difference to me. Do as you wish. Sure. I'm giving you the first move. All right, I got you. I'll start with my pawn. Why is everything a chess metaphor today? Seems you enjoy chess. You play too, Mr. Fancy Suit? Name is literally Knightley. That's so on the nose it hurts. It's Edgeworth, and I do have a fondness for chess, yes. That's so. Well then, Chess Master Edgeworth, I'll start with the good news. Never start with the good news. The president's safe. Not even a scratch on him. Really? Well, that's great, pal. It seems that the young lady was not a murderer after all. Good for you, Nicole. But I... Whoa there, don't forget, there's still the bad news. The president is safe because his bodyguards protected him. Actually, I had nothing to do with it. It was the leader who protected him. At the cost of his own life. Ooh. Axe Cop shot down in his prime. That would be the other bodyguard, Rook, was it? Yeah, that's right. Rook died to protect the president. What? Is that so? Rook is dead. What a shame. That means Nicole. It means that the little lady killed him. My brother in arms. That ain't true. I ain't a murderer. Whoa, don't aim the gun. You are actively very much a psycho man. Whoa there, pipe down, little Miss Murderer. Jeez, even if we had to make a sacrifice to protect the king, it was a pretty bad move, that castling. I actually know what that means. Sacrifices and castles. What's he talking about, sir? It's chess lingo, don't worry about it. They're all chess terms. He's saying Rook's life was exchanged for the president's. This guy sure talks funny, sir. Yeah, well, that's hardly unusual in this universe, let's be real. Horse Knightley, was it? Yeah. Oh my god, horse! Like the knight! Ah! What do you want? I'd like to examine the victim's body as soon as possible. And, if it's possible, I'd like to question the Presidente. Sorry, but I ain't letting you do that. I can't let you do it. What? I got another piece of news for you. This one's a doozy. Is another piece of news? You said there was good news and bad news, and that was it. From here on out, this investigation will be handled by the Zengfa police. Ah, Lord. What? What's going on, pal? This case is under our jurisdiction, so step off. You have no right to interfere. You're Prosecutor Edgeworth, right? The president knows about you solving the Yatagatasu case. I'm honored. That's why the chief prosecutor designated you to be in charge of the case. Seems the chief prosecutor made a little appeal to the president. But, looks like you're the wrong guy for the job. I didn't know you'd have this kind of reaction. It's the president's orders. If you oppose, you'll cause an international incident. Capiche? Hey, little lady, get over here. We'll continue your questioning inside the president's plane. No! I didn't do nothing! Hey now, don't be a baby. You scared of a little Zengfa justice? No, but I am scared of being shot. Mr. Prosecutor, please. Please help me. Miss Swift? It's clear that Miss Swift was the person in the red hood. However, that doesn't mean that the whole truth has been revealed. I really didn't do it. Please believe me. Is it really all right for it to end this way? All I see is a girl with eyes full of fear pleading for help. Certainly not someone who's committed a heinous crime. If I stand aside now and do nothing, the truth will be lost to the darkness. And that's something Miles Edgeworth cannot abide! Yeah! Eh? What? What? What's happening? What the? You! Whoa! Silence. What the is an impolite way to greet someone. Your neck injury is yet to heal, and you've already forgotten. No, not you. Not now. It seems you've remembered. Hey, what are you doing? Cut it out, pal. Got some nerve to do that right in front of a detective and a prosecutor and also a bunch of other police officers. What the hell? Stop. Stay out of this. He's out of your league. Mr. Doe, who on earth are you? Murderer. I'm not merely a simple ice cream salesman. Freaking duh. He's a professional assassin. His name is Shelly DeKilla. Shelly DeKilla? You can tell by the shells on his coat. There's no one in law enforcement who doesn't know the name DeKilla. An assassin who will carry out any request without fail. He was once involved in a case I handled. All right, so yeah, this definitely... I felt like this take place. I felt like I knew where this took place, but I had to double check. It's been a while, Prosecutor Edgeworth. Although I do believe this is our first face-to-face meeting. Yeah, last time was through a walkie-talkie. The real assassin was you all along. That's correct. I received a request from a key individual to take the president's life. I should have seen his face before in the case files. Curses. I was careless. How do you forget a face that looks like his, even if he didn't have the giant scar down the middle? I'm glad I hid a knife inside my bandage before I entered the park. Even though my calculations were a little off. A knife? Not a gun? Now, Mr. Knightley, shall we play that game you love so much? Of course, the stakes will be your life. What are your demands? I want you to relinquish investigative authority back to Prosecutor Edgeworth. What? Investigative authority? What are you playing at? I simply want you to allow Edgeworth to continue his investigation. Why is he helping me? Huh? Why do you want that? Rook is an opponent who is connected to me by fate. I would like to discover the truth about his death. When that man died, the investigative authority was transferred to you. I'm simply asking you to give it back to the prosecutor. With your life at stake, this really isn't the time to be stubborn. You're just using the investigation to get close to the president. And what if I am? Indeed, in order to continue the investigation, it is necessary that we enter the president's plane. As a leader of the president's bodyguards, I won't allow it. Oh, I thought you were only second in command. Now the Rook's gone, I'm in charge. I'm not sure if you're as capable as Rook was. What are you saying? I'm totally the leader now. Just because I don't have full directional control over my neck right now, don't make me useless. Very well. In that case, please exercise judgment befitting of a leader. You can lose your life here needlessly, or will you allow the investigation to continue? Ah! He's using the investigation as an excuse? Why would he go to all that trouble? What is this man thinking? Prosecutor Edgeworth, I trust you have no objections. Let us continue the investigation. Mr. Edgeworth, what should we do, sir? For now, we have no choice but to accept his proposal. At least we'll be able to investigate. But listen well, detective. I'm gonna lay down some serious information. I'll use the investigation to buy us time. Meanwhile, gather up all your men. Surround the president's plane so that he can't escape. Right. Roger that, sir. Oh, now, this is an intense tutorial case. Holy hell, this is getting good.